Hi everyone, my name is Anthony Org and I'm the partnership manager here at Sovos ShipCompliant. And in this edition of our Partner Spotlight series, happy to have Chris Tout, co-founder of Vinespring, join us today. Chris, how you doing?
I'm great. Anthony, good to be here.
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time today to talk about Vinespring and our partnership. Um,
Yeah.
so let's start at the beginning. Tell us how Vinespring came about. How did it get all started, and what are the events that got you to where you're at today?
Well, I'm from Colorado originally. I'm a third generation Colorado native. My mom's side of the family goes back to Rocky Ford and La Junta, Colorado. And I was not familiar with Ship Compliant until I actually moved to California. And I moved out here because I fell in love with my now wife, Ellie Price. And Ellie owns a vineyard named Durrell, and the Durrell vineyard sells Chardonnay and Pinot Noir to no, 15 to 20 wineries a year. And that was my entree into the wine business was showing up here in California, falling in love with a woman who owned a vineyard, and then showing up in California to, just I was interested. I was interested in how vineyards operated, how um, what viticulture is, and that naturally led to um, the winery side. And I have a technical background, and I thought I can help these wineries by building a e-commerce platform, and that was February of 2011 when we launched Fine Spring. Um, a friend of mine in Colorado, a programmer, a friend named Jameson, he and I co-founded the company together and started building a platform to better manage direct-to-consumer sales for wineries. And through that process, we found out that there was another Colorado company, Ship Compliant, that immediately I had an interest in and affinity towards, especially because of the Colorado connection.
Awesome. So you've been in this business for a while. Obviously, it sounds like VineSpring came out of even to maybe your own needs, being involved with the winery too a little bit.
Oh, for sure. And then the longer I lived in Sonoma, California, where I'm based currently, the more I became part of the community, met winemakers, winery owners, and people who were, um, just had an interest in running their business more simply, running, DTC alcohol shipping and sales is a really complex beast. It's not selling, jeans or knickknacks. It is filled with everything that, of course, we know the compliance and the regulatory and all of that. So I started looking for a way to really build a simple sales management platform that would also cater to their allocations and to their clubs. And that became our unique, amongst other winery e-commerce players. We wanted to just do things in a more simple way, leverage technology to really make DTC sales easier.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting that you've been on both sides of it, right? As being involved with the winery and now on the technology side, I think really gives you guys some really cool perspective.
Mm.
Um, so let's talk a little bit more about the integration and how does that work? Can you give folks a high level overview of what they can expect with the integration between our two companies?
Yeah. Excuse me, I'm recovering like a lot of people from COVID. Um, we um, we are proud of our integration with Ship Compliant. We've been a platinum integrated partner for quite some time, and in that we built in, for example, if something is compliant when the order is placed, it's auto committed to the Ship Compliant system. Um, we're trying to remove some of the manual steps to help facilitate a more easy management of that sale. So starting from the very basic side, if a sale comes in from the website, or if a sale is placed in the administrative interface, or in our point of sale, an in-person tasting, all of those are going to be immediately checked, sort of all the details thrown over the fence to ship compliant, which is going to calculate, is it compliant? What is the tax rate that should be appropriately placed on that order? It's going to send all that data back to Vinespring so that the person taking the sale can quickly make a change, or realize they haven't collected the proper identification, date of birth. Any of the compliance or regulatory piece, depending on where it's being shipped to or taken possession of, it's all going to appear right there at the time of sale and in just a few milliseconds. So that integration happens very quickly. In fact, a lot of people don't, once you set up the ship compliant integration in Vinespring, you don't necessarily even think about it anymore. It's just there in the order, for you to do something with.
Yeah, that's great, and it's a complex landscape dealing with it, and I think it's awesome that what you guys have done to really simplify things.
Yeah, it's something that I'll point out. We like other e-commerce providers, I think, have made this choice, but certainly I now am a winery owner as well. We don't stop the customer placing the order on the website with a compliance issue. For example, Texas is known for their volume limits. So if somebody from Texas is one of your best buyers and they are hitting a volume limit threshold, we don't put it on their shoulders to figure that out or how to make that order compliant. But when that sale comes through, you as an administrator are going to recognize quickly it's a volume limit issue. I need to split this order into two, or do something extraordinary to make sure that that order to Texas is placed compliantly before you ship it.
Hmm.
So we don't make our our we always want to get out of the customer's way and allow them to place that order as easy as possible. Um, uh, and then the administrator can make sure that if that order is non-compliant, that they get over that hurdle. Um, Make no mistake, Vine Spring doesn't accept orders to Utah, or it doesn't accept orders to it's very easy to say I don't want to accept, I only accept orders to these handful of states, or even zip codes or areas. You can be very specific about it, but we try to, as a DTC e-commerce platform, facilitate that allocated sale, or that custom club order, or that just off the street somebody's coming to your website and placing a sale. Try to make it as easy as possible for the customer to get that sale into the system, and then administratively ensure that as a business you're doing things compliantly and correctly.
Hmm. And at the end of the day, too, it seems like you're giving folks that opportunity to still delight the customer, right? And instead of stopping that sale and going back and being able to resolve it and still keep that customer experience that that they've had in the past.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, other sort of things that come to mind that I really appreciate about Ship Compliant and the integration is, um, you know, Nexus tax rates. So collecting, um, let's take California for example. What was it, April of maybe 2019? Time has flown by, but
What year is it now?
I know when they changed the rule that said basically if you're a producer of beverage alcohol collecting less than $500,000 in sales over the course of a year, you can just collect your county rate within the state of California. But if you're over that, you need to collect Nexus, or wherever you're shipping it to, that rate, collect that and file and do all the correct reporting on it. Well, it's changes like that that cause a lot of confusion at first for especially small producers, and Vinespring has a lot of small producers who use our platform. But through the ship compliant integration has made it, has taken the mystery out of the process and has made it so that our ship compliant connected customers can feel confidence that they're collecting the right amount of sales tax and setting it up for the right reporting so that they're compliant within uh, the state of California. So
Mhm.
those kind of things are really wonderful. We also provide a level one integration to fulfillment houses. So, and this is a free of charge kind of thing. If you're using the Vinespring platform and you are also using a fulfillment house that subscribes to Ship Compliant, it's possible that they're allowing you to connect your Vinespring orders, to that fulfillment house for easy sending of that order to the fulfillment house. That doesn't mean you're collecting the right tax or you're doing it, but you can use just that one component to make those sales get over to your fulfillment house quickly. That's a really nice part of the integration as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the integration, and you touched on it, is serves a lot of folks, right?
Yeah.
For those small wineries who are maybe just using the level one functionality, but who else are you working with today? Is it just wineries, or are there other segments that you're currently working with, and what about size? Can you speak to that a little bit?
So we're dedicated to beverage alcohol, and that overwhelmingly has been wineries for us. However, we have breweries, distilleries, cideries. We even have some kombucha producers using Vinespring. And the unique for all of them is they either need to uh, sell their beverage alcohol via allocation or start a club. And when they make that decision to start that club, it doesn't matter if it's 100 people or 10,000 people. Vinespring is a really scalable platform. So some clients, so on the allocated front that I've really enjoyed working with are like Bryant Wines on Pritchard Hill, Saxum Vineyards. Actually, today is January 11th, and their release started today. So they come to mind. And it's really fun to see in some of those allocated models, you know, an incredible crush of sales come through in a very, very short amount of time. That's sending all of these requests over to Ship Compliant. Let's say, we've seen clients have up to 500, 600 orders a minute. So that's an incredible load on the API to ensure that the right tax and everything is coming back. So um, we've got clients on the small side, and then way up to the cake breads of the world are using Vinespring. One really neat thing about like the cake bread integration, for example, is they're using Square, the point of sale system. And the way I view it is Vinespring sits at the center of a DTC ecosystem. And they're using Square for the point of sale. They're using Ship Compliant for the compliance and tax related purposes, and sending orders to fulfillment. They're using Salesforce for powerful CRM. Working in a connected working in a connected universe like that is really powerful. It's really, really powerful. So we sit at the center of that connectedness, trying to ensure that that order gets pushed all the way through to the customer correctly.
Yeah, you guys have quite the ecosystem there, and we're also glad that you're a part of ours, and we're a part of yours.
Yeah.
Um, so, what advice would you give someone really looking to start DTC, or looking to grow their current DTC channel?
Well, it is. I think we all need to admit that we're all making. Let's say in the wine business, we're making really good wine. wine has improved dramatically over the last 10 years to where most producers are producing really good product. So what sets yourself apart? What is the um, maybe it's something about who you are. Like for example, uh, uh, Wine Co. Yeah, Extraordinary Wine Co. Yeah, which is they used to be Dirty and Rowdy, and they became Wine Co. Yeah. That's Hardy Wallace. They're producing some really interesting varietals, and they are connecting using technology, especially through COVID, connecting often with their fan base. They're doing what they call camps, where they, uh, they'll ship you your club product, and then they're engaging with you in a really personal way, leveraging technology so that you can learn more about the wine and the product. All the way to, do you have an in-person experience that you can share with people? In my estimation, the number one tool to growth is really being able to connect personally with your clients. And so if you have a winery that allows you to host tastings, or if you have a vineyard that allows you to set up an experience that people will, connect with and love, uh, I think that that's a really wonderful way to build your customer list and increase sales. Then ongoing after that first sale, leveraging a platform like Vinespring so you can easily say, here are my purchasers, and market to those people in the best way, like with a specific message. Here are my non-purchasers, and send them perhaps a different offer. Treat your club members like family, right? Send them messages that are um, personal about the club and the experience of, again, getting them to just connect back with who you are, what your brand represents, and what you're providing. It takes work. It is hard work. I know of an allocated winery who was has been a client of ours for probably 10, almost 11 years. And I remember talking to the guy who runs the. I was envious of the idea that he sells out all of his product within about a month of the allocation. I said, "What was it? How did you get to this place?" He said, "Really hard work, hosting people here, and busting his butt connecting with those customers." I think it is a very difficult thing to grow a brand if you don't have some type of experience besides the great product that you ship to
Mhm.
connect with your customers on. And then if you have that, starting that club and catering to that club to make them feel special will create longevity and great revenues for the long term.
Yeah, I think that's some great advice there, and I know from my own personal experiences, the great ones that I've had are the also too from my visits out to Napa and Sonoma are the ones that still buying wine from years later.
Right.
Just from that few trips I had even before Ship Compliant. Um,
Are you a
so
member
what
of
else
any? Are you a member of any wine clubs?
Not yet. I started at Ship Compliant right a month before the pandemic started, so I still need to make a work trip out there. We, hope fingers crossed are going to be having the wine summit in person this year, so excited to get out and make that a longer trip, and also visit some of our clients out there, and probably join some clubs.
The wine the wine summit's in May, correct?
In April this year.
In April.
Yep,
Oh,
in
great.
April.
In Napa, or where will it be?
It will be in Napa, going back to the Napa Valley Marriott. I don't have the dates handy off
Oh,
the
you don't
top of
have
my
to
head,
stop.
but
Yeah, I love it. Is it called? It's called Wine Summit. It's not called Direct.
yes,
Okay,
it is Wine Summit, yes.
Wine Summit. Well, great, great.
So
How
excited
about
to get back in person.
you? Come from the beer world, don't you? You have a beer background. So are you part of any beer clubs?
I am not actually a part of any beer clubs either. So yes, my background's been in the beer world. Worked for the Brewers Association, for many years. So the folks who put on the Great American Beer Festival, the Craft Brewers Conference, and also worked, for some local regional producers in the area, and then found my way to Ship Compliance. So.
Well, it's a sign. I firmly believe that the beer world is going to continue to grow into the club model.
Hmm.
And I am thrilled that Ship Compliant and platform Vinespring and platforms like Vinespring are integrated with Ship Compliant can help cater to that beer or model because the laws are dramatically different. If I felt like wine laws were behind the times, beer and spirit laws are way behind the times. So it's something to be excited about in the future and how to help them you know cater to longevity of club members and building those experiences so that you have that repeat buyer is something I'd love to
Hmm.
share with breweries.
Yeah, and I think, once some of the laws change and maybe Colorado will open up for beer DTC, then I can see myself joining a lot of clubs here
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
shortly. So, get to know my FedEx and UPS guys really well, that's for sure.
Yep. Yep. Well, it's I find it fascinating that there's more states that allow intrastate DTC shipping of beer than there are interstate. And I'll just say to wineries, if you want to feel better about your DTC compliance and rules, and even though it feels like a huge task and huge undertaking, look at the beer world and see how lucky we really have it.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But the laws are changing. So
Yep.
they're behind, but hopefully one day, the beer spirits world will have the same footprint as wine does, and that's the same access to that market that wine has today. And I think also too, the beauty of it is integration wise, it's all the same. It's all the what you're doing today with a winery will work for a brewery, will work for a distillery, just slightly different setup on the ship compliance side.
I've registered a brand and I've got high hopes for a brand that I'm calling Sonoma Agave. It's agave spirit that I plan to plant in California this year in 2022. And agave takes about 6 to 8 years to grow. And when you get one harvest, you then have to go replant it again. So grapes, you plant once, and 3 years later, you've got a crop, and then year after year after year, you have a crop. Anyway, agave spirits, I'm pretty keen on, and look forward to someday selling some agave spirits through the Ship Compliant platform or in conjunction with it. So.
Yeah, you're a man of many interests. That's for sure.
Yeah, life is short. Let's take advantage of it. See what else. I looked into hops at one time. Hops are tough. They grow so tall that it obscures the view, unfortunately, where I wanted to plant it. But you know, what else can we ferment? How about Smucker's jelly? A friend used to now, here in California, there's Smucker's down in LA area. There's a Smucker's factory, and you can pick up the leftovers. And I've known people to make moonshine out of the leftover Smucker's jam. So, not sold it. You don't sell that stuff. But
Nope.
anyway,
So before we go, any final parting thoughts, last things that you want folks to know about Vine Spring, maybe what's on the horizon for you guys, and obviously too, where can they find more info?
well, first, it takes a village to make this all work, and so partnerships are key. And thank you for everything that Ship Compliant has done. Um, Vine Spring, it's exciting. 2022 and beyond. We're really excited about you know all the directions that we're taking. I'll just say that through COVID, DTC has been really really good for the brands using Vine Spring. People who um, pivoted to direct to consumer marketing, who again back to that experience side of things, who were willing to maybe sell to their local community and deliver for free, who went out of their way to um, you know build better personal relationships with their clients. They've done really well through the pandemic, and those clients have been repeat buyers again and again outside of clubs and things like that. So our relationship with Square is going to continue to grow. I think Square is a world-class point of sale system, and to date, it's been one of the weaknesses has been there hasn't been enough information within the Square point of sale to, for example, recognize, are you a club member? What is your lifetime value? When is your last purchase date? Those key know your customer elements. Our partnership with Square gets over that, and we're able to push all that information into Square. Um, we'll be we've launched Square Payments. So one of the big issues in this space is maybe you're using a reservation system that collects a credit card, and your website collects a credit card, and your point of sale collects a credit card. And now these credit cards are in three disparate systems that you can't share that one credit card amongst everything. Integrating Square Payments eliminates that hurdle. So you can now take a credit card through a card reader in your tap room or tasting room and store it on that profile for easy uh, adding it to a club profile for that customer later, or charging a shipment that they placed while they're in the tasting room. So eliminating back to our core value of simplicity, it's really just anything. The future of Vinespring is to continue making the experience the best it can be for the customer, and the easiest it can be for an admin by eliminating those hurdles that otherwise you're taking manual steps to have to overcome, and it's eating up your time. So we're excited about where it's going.
Great to hear. And where can people find you?
Vinespring.com. We've always been a fully remote team. That's worked well through COVID. Vinespring's 14 employees. We've got about 550 active clients, and all of our employees are remote. 8 or 9 of the employees are in Colorado. So most of us are in Colorado. I happen to be one of 2 people in California, but wherever we are, we love connecting via Zoom. We have outstanding customer support, like in the wine industry, where that customer connection is critical. We strive for it in the Vinespring e-commerce side to be as you know, when you need help, we're there for you. And it's something that I've always respected about ShipCompliant. From the very beginning, ShipCompliance had excellent support. When you're looking at something, you're saying this isn't right, you have somebody to call and get support from. It makes a really big difference, especially when you're a small brand or a really big brand. It's you're just trying not to waste your time spinning your wheels on something. So yeah.
Well, awesome, Chris. Thank you so much for your time today. The partnership, love working with you guys over there at Vine Spring, and thanks for sharing, with the folks about Vine Spring.
Anthony, always good to see you. See you at the next see you Unified, maybe in a week.
Oh yeah, next week is Unified.
Yeah, 2 weeks away. Yeah, look forward to seeing you there.
All right,
All right.
thanks, Chris.